Historically, communication among humans has been crucial for many reasons, including safety and health. As far back as language goes, humans have been trying to stay in touch with each other, particularly over long distances. Early forms of telecommunication involved smoke signals, horses, and birds that often got lost. And then, electricity changed everything. Communication forms slowly evolved into more technical and reliable methods, such as the telegraph and later, the telephone. The story of telecommunication is evolution, and often its progress was incremental.
Oh, hello again, and welcome to another edition of Bazaar, the program that explores markets, profits, industries, and all sorts of things that connect us nationally and internationally. This week, we will venture through the vast world of the information communication technology sector. We want to see where these products are used and how they contribute to the national economy. So, let's log into today's Bazaar.
Our journey first took us to Kerman province, where we visited a company that specializes in manufacturing telecom products. ARG Telecommunication Services Company operates out of the Special Economic Zone of ARG in Kerman province. It was first established nearly 2 decades ago. This company is a manufacturer that also offers services for installing telecom projects. It has implemented more than 2 million fixed telephone ports and more than 2,000 cell phone towers at sites across the country. It works with some of the biggest and well-known internet and phone service providers in Iran.
کارخونه خدمات مخابراتی ارگ جدید تولید کننده عملاً میتونیم بگیم به عنوان بزرگترین و اولین تولید کننده تجهیزات مخابراتی، مودم‌های ADSL، VDSL، مودم‌های جیپان و تجهیزات پزشکی و در حال حاضر با ورود به حوزه تولید قطعات خودرو به عنوان تولید کننده تجهیزات خودرویی عملاً مشغول به کار هست.
Its manufacturing facilities makes customer-based equipment for telecommunication in a variety of modems. But that's not all. It also produces equipment necessary for making telecom infrastructure for distribution terminals for communication providers. Essentially, its products fully cover the needs of high-speed internet subscribers as well as cell phone and landline phone users.
شعار مدیران ارشد مجموعه مدیریت محترم عامل و رسالتشون و دغدغه‌شون عملاً کیفیت محصولات است، به نوعی که ما این کیفیت رو در عمل هم عملا نشون دادیم به شکلی که کلیه محصولات ما 3 سال گارانتی بدون سوال داره، یعنی هر محصولی که به هر حال دچار هر مشکلی بشه بدون سوال تعویض میشه. موارد مشاهده شده که این محصولات توسط خود کاربران یا استفاده کنندگان دچار اشکال شده، برای ما اهمیت نداشته و اقدام به تعویض کردیم. کلیه محصولات ما شامل این گارانتی 3 ساله هستند.
The company has created numerous job opportunities and employs highly specialized individuals to get the job done.
550 نفر پرسنل به صورت مستقیم در 3 شیفت کاری در این کارخانه مشغول به کار هستند. شاغلین این کارخانه اساساً از تحصیل کرده های دانشگاه های خوب کشور هستند و در مقاطع کارشناسی ارشد و حتی دکترا با رشته‌های مرتبط تحصیل کردن و در حال حاضر در این کارخانه مشغول به کار هستند.
Like many manufacturers in the country, this company has also faced obstacles throughout the years. But it was by no means put off by the coronavirus pandemic or the tough US-imposed sanctions. In many ways, it saw these challenges as an opportunity.
عملاً اگر شما نگاه بکنید به نمودار رشد کارخانه خدمات مخابراتی ارگ جدید، در جایی که تحریم‌ها شدت گرفت، و در جایی که کرونا باعث شد که خیلی از صنایع عملاً زمینگیر بشن، شیب رشد و توسعه کارخونه ما اونجا با درایت مدیریت محترم عامل بسیار شدید شد. از طرف دیگه همطور که میدونین بعد از بیماری کرونا و پاندمیک و همه‌گیری که به هر حال در دنیا و همچنین در کشور ما ایجاد شد، نیاز به استفاده از اینترنت در همه جا افزایش پیدا کرد. خب اینترنت طبیعتاً مودم میخواد، تجهیزات ارتباطی میخواد و با توجه به بحث تحریم ها خیلی از شرکت ها محصولات خودشون به کشور ما نفروختن. یه مقدار در بحث واردات و بازار مشکلاتی تو این حوزه ایجاد شد. تولید ما واقعا کاور کرد. با ظرفیت تولید بالا انواع محصولات DSL، VDSL، LTE و جیپان رو تولید کردیم برای اپراتورهای مختلف، همراه اول، ایرانسل، موبیلنت و در سطح بازار.
Industries in the country are constantly trying to keep up with the fast-paced scientific developments, and with these advancements in knowledge comes a great need to enhance various technologies. In some cases, it was necessary to invent entirely new technology. Knowledge-based companies across Iran are stepping up to the plate to fill in product voids caused by industry developments.
This high-tech manufacturer has a 2,000 square meter factory fitted with 2 production halls. The production lines have the latest technology to produce complex electronic boards which can be used in a variety of devices.
من عرضم خدمت شما ما دستگاهی رو در کارخونه داریم استفاده میکنیم که در هیچ کارخونه دیگری در ایران شاید نظیرش استفاده نمیشه. علت همین استش که این خط و این کارخونه با پلن و دورنمای تولیدات تجهیزات پیشرفته بهینه‌سازی شده و چیده شده. دورنمای ما، تارگت ما، هدف ما محدود به تولید یک مودم نیست. ما عملاً گام‌های بزرگتری رو خواهیم داشت و به خاطر اینکه مطمئن هستیم در آینده تولیدات مختلفی رو انجام خواهیم داد و کیفیت برای ما حرف اول و آخر رو در تولید میزنه، به دور از بقیه موارد دیگه چنین خط پیشرفته‌ای عملاً کنار هم چیده شده، نیروهای متخصص آموزش دیده‌ای که نتیجتاً منجر به این شده که ما خدمات بعد از فروش ما یه گزارش 7000 میده از محصولات برگشتی که اینقدر کم هست که اصلا نیازی به آنالیز و بررسی نداره.
Its versatile production lines include technology that is capable of making other equipment such as blood glucose monitors.
استفاده از محصول ما بسیار ساده هسته که البته باید بگم که پشت این سادگی تکنولوژی با سختگیری خیلی زیادی قرار گرفته که ما ده‌ها متخصص که توی دانشگاه مختلف ایران تحصیل کردن توی این کارخونه دارن این دستگاه رو تست میکنن و از چندین ایستگاه این دستگاه تستشون انجام میشه و رد میشه.
Special permits are required for glucose monitors because they are considered medical devices. This company has received the necessary licenses for production and distribution from the Medical Devices Directorate. These licenses also provide standardization which are necessary for export purposes. It might be interesting to know that the company also cooperates with other major industries, including oil, gas, and the automobile sector. But its productions aren't just limited to medical devices and telecom products. It also makes components used in vehicles.
همونطور که مشاهده می‌کنیم در حال حاضر سالن SMD با استفاده از بهترین ماشین‌آلات و تجهیزات روز دنیا اقدام به تولید بردهای الکترونیکی در صنعت‌های مختلف نظیر مودم‌های مخابراتی، دستگاه‌های تست پزشکی و همچنین محصولات خودرویی اقدام کرد و فعال میباشد.
Research and development as well as quality control departments hold the pulse of the company. All stages of production are monitored and each item that is produced undergoes massive testing using state-of-the-art technology. This ensures that these high-tech products all meet the specifications with zero failure standards.
ما امیدوار هستیم که کاربران ایرانی محصولات ما رو انتخاب کنن. ما اعتقادمون این هستش که به هیچ عنوان تمایلی به تک سورس شدن نداریم. تک محصول شدن به نظر من در بازار خوب نیست. خیلی دوست داریم که کاربر ایرانی وقتی که محصول ما رو در کنار چند محصول دیگر حالا خارجی یا چیزای دیگه میبینه با اطمینان و افتخار محصول ما رو انتخاب کنه و با اطمینان و افتخار محصول ما رو استفاده کنه.
If the last 40,000 years have been a methodical climb for telecommunications, then the last 30 years have certainly been a sprint. From the internet to smartphones, emails, texting, and video chat, we all know this recent chapter, we have lived in it. But the telecom sector is just a portion of Iran's larger information communication technologies or ICT industry. And it doesn't take a genius to see that this sector has been growing very fast in recent years.
Based on the World Telecommunication Organization, Iran is among the top 3 countries on the planet with the highest growth rate in this area. In 2018, over 2% of Iran's gross domestic product was related to ICT. Now that figure stands at around 4.6%, which by comparison is a significant growth. That's according to Iran's Ministry of Information Communications Technology. Early last year, the ICT industry was estimated to be worth $3.3 billion. This figure has doubled since 2013. Meanwhile, Iran's Ministry of ICT has evaluated Iran's technology access and transfer to be compatible with other countries. This means there is high potential for exports in this area. ICT have many uses, but probably the biggest use is to facilitate internet flow in the country. We studied a report released in 2019 by the E-Commerce Development Center of Iran to get more insight. Figures showed there were some 270,000 e-commerce businesses in the country. Statistics in the report also indicated that 13% of these businesses were owned by women nationwide. The center puts the total transactions from e-commerce businesses alone at around $1 billion in 2019.
Iran has a population of around 85 million people. Nearly all Iranian family members have a smartphone, and each household has at least one computer and telephone. When the coronavirus pandemic took hold of the world, many processes, including education, were made easier by using the internet. And with the increased use of online activity came a great need for more connectivity, particularly in rural areas.
In terms of ICT infrastructure development in the mobile network, Iran is one of the countries with the most access. Mobile data usage is probably the highest form of internet use in Iran among individuals. This is while broadband developments have also provided 98% of Iranians and their businesses with internet. Iran partially privatized its ICT sector as early as the 1990s. Now there are numerous operators competing in the mobile phones, data services, and internet sectors. The Communications Regulation Organization says currently there are nearly 80 million internet subscribers in the country. Of this total, nearly 70 million have mobile subscriptions, while 9 million used fixed broadband connections. This number is further broken to reveal that the majority of fixed broadband users are businesses and government entities. In terms of quality and price indices, Iran has one of the cheapest broadbands in the world. That's according to the Ministry of Information Communicating Technology, which ranked Iran second in the region in terms of affordable broadband. Toward the 2025 vision of Iran, government officials are seeking to invest in the ICT industry. With the development of ICT, Iran has been largely successful in achieving economic growth. All of these developments wouldn't have been possible without information communication technology and telecom sector's hard work.
Okay, it is time for me to go offline for several minutes because my good friend and colleague is out there on the field ready to give us all a new adventurous report. Take it away.
Do you remember tripping over as a kid, cutting your knee? Do you remember that after a while your bleeding magically stopped? Have you ever wondered how and why this happens?
Our body is astonishingly clever. When we are injured, it produces substances to seal off open wounds. This is called blood clotting, and it prevents us from bleeding to death, and also it prevents pathogens, organisms that cause disease, from entering our body.
When we get injured, our blood vessels are damaged, and if the skin is broken, we will openly bleed. To prevent this, blood clotting occurs. There are tiny platelets that are floating around in our blood, and coagulation happens when these platelets are attracted to an injured area. They stick together there to form a clot and seal off the open wound. Sometimes clots form on the inside of vessels without an obvious injury.
Blood clotting, however, does not always save our lives. It can be deadly for patients who are, for example, undergoing an open heart surgery. And that's why blood thinners such as heparin are used so that the blood doesn't clot when it cycles through the heart-lung machine during a procedure. So before surgeons can start a procedure, they have to closely monitor the coagulation time. Today, I'm visiting a knowledge-based company that has been making headlines by producing the first ever all-Iranian ACT test kits. Here's more.
Phantom is a small company located in Pardees Technology Park. Well, it might be small in size, but definitely not in significance.
ACT kit is an essential diagnostic device in cardiopulmonary and cardiovascular surgeries. This device assures the surgeon to start and continue cardiovascular procedure without any risk of thromboembolism and clot formation in the blood circulation pathway.
ACT stands for Activated Clotting Time. Patients undergoing surgery have an increased probability of developing blood clots in their veins. While clots are useful in stopping bleeding, they can block vessels and stop the blood from flowing to organs such as the brain, heart, or lungs if they form in the wrong place at the wrong time. Anticoagulants, medicines that reduce the ability of the blood to clot, are given to make sure that the blood does not clot during certain procedures. The activated clotting time is commonly used to monitor treatment with high-dose anticoagulants before, during, and for a short time after procedures such as open heart surgery and kidney dialysis. Monitoring is a vital part of the anticoagulation therapy because the blood thinning effect of, for example, heparin can affect each person a little bit differently. If the amount of heparin administered is not enough to inhibit the body's clotting system, blood clots may form in blood vessels throughout the body. If there's too much heparin, excessive, even life-threatening bleeding can occur. Here's how the test kit works.
And this is the ACT test kit. As you can see, there's this main tube here and the plunger, which mixes the blood with suspension that lies at the bottom of the main tube. The role suspension plays here is critical. It reduces the clotting time so that the process can be done faster. Well, when this testing kit is inserted inside the coagulation analyzer, this plunger falls inside the tube, and based on the fall velocity, the coagulation time is estimated. You see, the more blood clots are formed inside the tube, the slower this plunger falls. And the reason why there are two tubes is because,
shortly put, precision. If the results obtained from the two chambers differ greatly, actually if the difference is greater than 12%, the results are considered unreliable and the test has to be repeated. Here at Phantom, they can produce up to 400 ACT kits per day, which they say is enough to supply operating rooms all over the country. The company has obtained different certifications, including ISO 13485, which specifies standards and requirements for a quality management system that can be used by any organization involved in the design, production, installation, and servicing of medical devices. The ACT kits made here come at half the price of similar kits that are currently imported to the country, and quality-wise, they are no different than their foreign rivals.
Iran used to import this device from US, and in the past few years, due to sanction and shortages of these kits, there were so problem and complication in the cardiovascular surgery and open heart surgery especially, and sometimes the operation and heart surgery was delayed for several weeks, so serious problem could occur for the patients.
This company sends ACT test kits to different operating rooms at various hospitals across Iran. Now that these test kits have hit the market and are widely available, no open heart surgery is going to be canceled due to lack of kits, which is great news for all Iranians. Well, that's a wrap for this week's feature program. Back to the studio and my good friend, Samson Sees.
Many thanks for that. And before we wrap up today's edition of Bazaar, let's check out some news and trends in the telecommunications industry and other high-tech sectors. Being able to have a working mobile phone is a necessity when you're in an emergency. So, Iran is expanding its ICT infrastructures to rural regions to bring villages and towns in Fars province online.
This latest initiative expands internet and mobile network coverage in 6 villages across Fars province. Some 1,300 households now have access to high-speed mobile data and network. This project increased telecom accessibility in the region to 98%. The province has a population of nearly 5 million people, with a fourth of them living in villages. The promotion of communication technologies has improved the quality of life for rural populations, especially during the COVID pandemic.
An Iranian knowledge-based company has developed new agricultural technology that has expanded the horizons of conventional farming as we know it. This is good news for hard-working farmers indeed, who can now sit back and relax a little. Don't they deserve it?
The firm is known for 2 innovative products. One is a vertical plant factory, and the other is a smart miniature portable greenhouse. The greenhouses are equipped with fully automated hydrophonic lighting, ventilation, cooling, and irrigation systems. Also, planters are fitted with high-tech biosensors that send data to the data-collecting base through the internet. So, farmers can monitor conditions from seed to crop without having to be physically present.
The provincial capital of Fars province, Shiraz, has taken the spotlight yet again. This time, it has opened several tech centers, each with a focus on developing high-tech products. Go Shiraz!
The tech centers were inaugurated by the Vice Presidential Office for Science and Technology. The centers will receive support of the state's tech authorities and provincial academic centers. One of the projects was an innovative center at the Shiraz University of Technology, which already accommodates 7 tech teams. The university will offer mentorship to startups in a variety of fields and help them commercialize their products. Other centers include research and production of automotive electronic components and other high-tech electronics.
And that covers our program on high-tech information communications technologies and their markets in the country. Here's a friendly reminder though, in case you missed anything, you can watch bits and pieces of our shows on our Instagram page. Don't forget to leave us your feedback. You can also email us with your thoughts and topic suggestions. We always love to hear more from our dear viewers. I have been Samson Sees. Sees you in the next Bazaar.